I think this goes without being said. I think DJ Khaled is one of these producers that will go down in history as maybe the one with the most amazing phrases, right? And I think that's a weird thing to me because I've heard that people said that this chorus and this verse by Drake was supposed to be one of the best by Drake, and I don't know. This is going to be, I don't know. So if this is the leading single from his album that God did, which DJ Khaled says that God, his quote is God did. They didn't believe us, God did, right? And so we'll see how this marks his legacy by getting the two head honchos of the mainstream music genre, right? And how they, I don't know. It's a weird thing, right? Like if this is God's did and this is what we end up rating DJ Khaled on, right? This is the lead single, and we end up rating him on how God did, right? How will we rate this, right? How will we release this, right? Because we have, in an idea, we have a track list, right? We have an idea what a track list will be. And I'm not sure if this song, if this is one of these songs that we hear on God Did. I don't necessarily know how I feel about this album. Okay, so this chorus by Drake is try me 100 and wanted me to cry, wanted me to die. Real life, wanted me to stay alive, which I think is pretty normal. They just want to somebody stay alive, and to most assumptions, I think they're going to end up being in a hospital to film the first introduction of this song, just because it says they wanted me to lie, they wanted me to cry, they wanted me to die, which just sounds like a hospital ER room. Another one, yeah. Try me 100 times, and it's a weird thing. So in this first verse by Drake, I think by far might not even be one of my favorite Drake verses, right? Like this kind of makes me, like, as I said, this makes me worry about this album, because he says how she's in love with me, how she's only ever been over once, how we've only talked once, It's not like I've known her for months. I've just only been around her once, and she's in love with me, which I think comes with that lavish lifestyle of being famous. There's an idea of lust. Like, this is what I think this idea of lust is, right? No, it's not. And it's a weird thing where it says it allows me to take what I want. It's not like I know what I want or what I need. It's just whatever is given to me, I'm going to take, which sounds like some activity that we would judge women on, and that's a double standard in itself. But I'm not here to argue with that debate either. It's a weird thing, right? Like, if a woman said this, then people say, oh, then she's fast or whatever. Like, this kind of bothers me of saying, well, and it's true. I think with lavish lifestyles, you can kind of do whatever you want. We've seen it happen on the news. We've seen it happen on the news. BBC, we've seen it on the American State News. This is a weird thing to, like, quote. I get sometimes, but there's no guarantee of things. It's a weird thing, right? Like, you get no guarantees. We get it, but you're Drake. Like, there's very few women that are going to turn down a celebrity. Very few. very few men that'll turn down celebrities. Like overall, this society kind of wants to be famous, and they're not scared to find that anywhere they want to. Um, he says, when I was broke, she was being a tease, pocket full. Now she's. It's a weird thing. Like, this is my idea. Like, my idea of lust is what this song ends up coming to, especially in Drake verse. Baby gonna hit it and then send it to me, or I'm gonna hit it and send her to baby. Okay, my problem with this is, my problem with this actually is, this has happened in the industry before, where women are passed around to other celebrities and that, which I think is gross. But it's known that many, like, multiple women have slept with multiple different rappers, R&B singers. It's known in the industry, which I think, there are a lot of people that are like, well, that's the point of that, and that's how it should be done, and I'm not really for that. But this idea of lust bothers me. Like, it bothers me because we're objectifying. We're objectifying not only women but men. Like, that's a weird thing, but it's also a double standard in this, right? Like, it's a weird thing, right? Because it really has no message, but he says we pass him around, and women choose. When he was broke, she was a tease, which it's very hard to. It's kind of like to say that without money they wouldn't be attracted to him, which, okay, that might be the case, but still, you're Drake, right? Like, it's very hard to go, yeah, I would it's very hard. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very hard to go, yeah, I'm not going to find nobody when I got millions of dollars. Right now, granted, when you make millions of dollars, you run in a very small circle, maybe a top 10% of the world, right? Maybe a top 10. So you're going to find you somebody. It doesn't necessarily have to be somebody from your past. But I think that's another thing. Drake also relies on some of his past, and that could be pointed to him saying in another song that he's so rich he has nothing to relate to. It's a weird thing. Like, I did not intend to go on this rant, but it's just, I get it. Lil Baby says, put my feelings aside if you want to, if you want me to die. But baby, I'm staying alive, which is he's fighting death or being in a bed. Plus, be one of a kind, which you putting on miles, which I like. As I said, the song really has no message unless it's like, look at the double standard here. Because we could say that a lot of guys that sleep with a lot of women are putting on miles, but the double standard is, we don't look at women that way, which bothers me in itself. I thought you were down for the ride. I'm trying to turn up her style, and we go to Chanel. She gets everything in her size. She and some other guy. I don't care. Whenever you see me, you're mine. Which just seems like lust. The idea of lust of, hey, I'm using you for X, Y, and Z, and when you run out of X, Y, and Z, I'm no longer going to be with you. And that's how it reads to me, right? Like, Chanel, no offense, Chanel, but when you get a certain amount of money, you end up becoming, it's a weird thing, right? Like, I think they've been in multiple relationships between the two of them. They probably shared women. I'm not sure, but the way that they hinted it in this line, of them just trying to be guys, I get it. But I'm not close enough with any of my guy friends to do any of this. But, when you make money, it's probably different. It's a weird thing. Like, he kind of like persuades cheating, but I guess that's the thing. If it's enough money, um, why not cheat? I'm not for that either. Um, I don't know. Like it's a weird thing where she says he says if you're in a relationship or you got something with some other guy, I don't care. Whenever I see you, you're mine. I don't care. Like that kind of clinginess, but not making it official or not being real or sticking with that one person. It just kind of seems like okay. So it's like that. It's like that ludicrous line. I got girls in every city, right? Like okay, we get it. Drizzy hits her and then sends her to me. He sleeps with her. He sleeps with them and or her and sends her to me. I don't talk. Definition of P. Which these lines kind of, I don't know. It's like I think what he was trying to do, which P is probably what people thought the Pusha P thing meant. Turns out it doesn't mean that, and no one's saying Pusha P anymore. So that's another thing. But it says definition of P. I'm gonna use punk as what he's trying to say. Hood guys turn superstars, but I sleep with her. Good, I'm still in the streets. I'm kind of I wouldn't consider myself a germaphobe, but the idea of passing along women kind of doesn't seem sanitary to me. This is how I feel. He's just saying I slept with her and I'm still connected to the streets because I still kind of live that street life, which I think is dangerous, when you make X amount of dollars, but it's always no response. You can see that. I read that. I'm with that whenever you're ready. Sure, I'd be happy if I fell off and I stayed there. They're gonna accept it. It's very hard for artists, particularly, to keep their marriages afloat if they ever get married or if they stay girlfriends. If they ever fall off, it's very hard for a lot of women or men to stay with them. It's not proven, but it's like you got a 5 out of 7 chance that it's probably gonna happen. I'm just like, why take that chance? I don't hate this song, but I think listening to this song, I'm just like, I get it. But there's no property being talked about here, nothing to level somebody's self up. This seems more of a dance song to me. And I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I do love dance songs, but I expected more from Lil Baby. Drake will say, okay, he makes pop music, and okay, I'll say DJ Khaled is one of the best producer album wise, besides Kanye, besides Pharrell. Rap, he will probably be as one of the producers. Ida will be the producer of mixtapes, the best mixtapes. But I just, over this, I don't see there to be any substance behind this. Is more kind of like a flex. And that's what I call it. Staying alive is like staying relevant or staying popular, which that's fine. That's just not kind of the song I'm trying to look for if I'm looking for a song to relax, vibe out to, and kind of listen to. It's just kind of not my thing, and I think it's and it says that is the reason. It's to explain how they live their lives with women and their songs, but I don't know. The idea of sharing a woman with a friend of mine just kind of I don't know. Just doesn't sit right with me, but everything is great. I think this does, for me, ruin their kind of ruins their 3 album run, because Wants and Needs was okay. Yes Indeed was okay. And this right here, I'm just not a huge fan of. It could grow on me, but I don't think it will. So I'm gonna have to go a 3 out of 10. I'm not hating. I'm not trying to hate on the song. I just don't think this is that song that I'm gonna listen to on a drive. Yeah, it's an okay song, I guess.